The Merton Mysteries, a Learn English radio series from the British Council. The Locked Room, Episode 6.
Hello, my name's Amanda Carlton.
And I'm David Evans. And in this series, we aim to improve your English language skills with the help of a series of crime mysteries.
In the story so far, we've heard that a diamond necklace has been stolen from a locked room in a house in the city of Merton. And two police officers, Inspector Tate and PC Lucy Gweno, are trying to solve the crime.
They think it might have been stolen by someone who works at the house, and so they interviewed the two guides who show tourists around. First, they spoke to a man called George, but he told them he was at the dentist when the necklace was stolen. Then, they interviewed the other tour guide, a woman called Sylvia.
She seemed a little strange, but they have no real evidence to connect her to the crime. So they need some more ideas, as we heard in the last programme.
So we need to start making some progress, Gweno. And quickly. OK, Sylvia is a possible suspect. But is there anyone else?
Well, let's not forget George.
But he was at the dentist at the time of the burglary. Actually, have you checked that, Gweno?
Well, I left a message with them, but I haven't heard back yet.
Well, find out, Gweno. Find out.
Of course, I'll chase them.
But we don't have any other leads at all, do we? Oh, we need some ideas. We need some more ideas.
Actually, I've just had a thought. Could you drop me just here?
Where? Here?
Yes, just outside that cafe. I want to speak to an old friend.
Oh. All right.
Thanks. I'll see you back at the station.
In our first scene today, PC Lucy Gweno walks into the cafe where she finds her old friend, who is called Hal. He's wearing headphones and he's doing something on a computer. Gweno asks him to take his headphones off and then says,
So, this is what you do with your life these days, is it?
And my first question for you today is, according to PC Gweno, what does Hal do with his life? She then asks for his advice about the case of the locked room, and she is very surprised to discover that he already knows about it. So how does he know? Here's the scene.
Hal, can you take your headphones off?
What?
Can you take your headphones off?
What? Oh, it's you.
Hello, Hal.
Well. My old friend Lucy Gweno. Or is that PC Lucy Gweno these days?
I thought I'd find you here. So this is what you do with your life, is it?
What do you mean?
You sit around playing computer games all day long, just like you used to at university.
It's not all I do. I make a living. I do all sorts of stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really. Anyway, if I'm such a loser, why have you come to see me? Or is playing computer games a crime these days?
To be honest, I wanted to ask your advice about something.
Oh, I thought there'd be a reason. Let me think. Has it got something to do with that burglary at Fairview House? What was it? A diamond necklace or something?
How do you know about that?
Oh, you can find everything online if you know where to look.
Well, actually, you're right. It is about the burglary.
I knew it!
But this is strictly confidential. You must promise not to tell anyone about this.
Oh, don't worry. You can trust me. Just tell me what you want to know.
So, according to PC Gweno, what does Hal do with his life? She says,
You sit around playing computer games all day long, just like you used to do at university.
But Hal doesn't think that's fair. He says,
It's not all I do. I make a living. I do all sorts of stuff.
And how does Hal already know about the stolen diamond necklace? He tells PC Gweno,
Oh, you can find everything online. if you know where to look. You're listening to the Merton Mysteries, a Learn English radio programme from the British Council.
The next scene takes place a few minutes later. Gwenno has been telling Hal all about the diamond necklace and the possible suspects. He says to her,
So you think it's definitely an inside job?
in other words, do you think it was stolen by someone who works there? PC Gwenno has told him about the 3 people who work at the house, the 2 tour guides, Sylvia and George, and Mrs. Turner, the housekeeper. Hal says,
You're missing the obvious suspect, aren't you?
so who is the obvious suspect? And, according to Hal, why would this person want to steal the necklace? Let's find out.
So, you think it's definitely an inside job?
It has to be.
But there are only 3 people who work at the house.
Well, yes. But at the moment, Sylvia is the most likely suspect. She was definitely in the building at the time. And she's obsessed with Lavinia Fenton. She collects everything to do with her.
Right.
But if it was her, we just can't work out how she got into the locked room. And this is where I thought you could help.
Oh, yes?
Well, I remember when we were students, you were always good at seeing things differently.
Really? It's nice of you to say so. But in this case, I don't think we need to see things differently.
What do you mean?
Well, you're missing the obvious suspect, aren't you?
Are we?
Of course you are. Because there is one person who could get into that room with no problem at all.
I don't understand. Who?
The person with the key, of course.
You mean Yasmin? What? Oh, come on, Hal. She's not the person we're looking for. Why would she steal her own necklace?
Well, there might be a reason.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, you said she needs money. You said that's why she opened the house to tourists.
Yes.
So, perhaps she thought of a new way of getting some money. Perhaps she stole the necklace because she thought she could get the insurance money.
The insurance money? That's an interesting thought.
Let's do a bit more research, shall we?
Well, who is the obvious suspect? Hal says,
The person with the key, of course.
PC Gwenno realises he's talking about Yasmin Fenton, the owner of the house, and says,
Oh, come on, Hal. She's not the person we're looking for. Why would she steal her own necklace?
and, according to Hal, why would she steal the necklace? He says,
Perhaps she stole the necklace because she thought she could get the insurance money.
insurance is when you pay money to a company which offers financial protection in case something bad happens. So, for example, if you insure something against being stolen or lost, the insurance company will pay you money if this happens. PC Gwenno thinks about Hal's idea and says,
The insurance money. That's an interesting thought.
and then they start to do some more research on his computer. You're listening to the Merton Mysteries, a Learn English radio series from the British Council. And don't forget, you can find more resources at our website at learnenglish.britishcouncil.org. In the next scene, PC Gwenno returns to the police station and tells Inspector Tate about Hal's idea. He says,
But it doesn't make sense. The necklace already belongs to her. If she needed the money, why didn't she just sell it?
PC Gwenno then tells him some of the other things she has learnt about Yasmin's mother, the film star Lavinia Fenton. She says,
One of the things they discovered was that Lavinia Fenton had spent all her money. There was nothing left.
Inspector Tate adds,
Except the house and the diamond necklace, of course.
PC Gwenno continues,
And so in her will, that was all she left to her daughter.
a will is a legal document which says what should happen to a person's money and property after their death. PC Gwenno explains,
But there was also a condition in the will.
in other words, there was something in the will which put a limit on what could happen. So, what was the condition in the will? And according to P.C. Gweno, why did Lavinia Fenton include this condition?
So you're saying Yasmin stole the necklace herself to get the insurance money?
Well, it's a possibility, isn't it?
But it doesn't make sense. The necklace already belongs to her. If she needed the money, why didn't she just sell it?
Ah, well, this is where it gets interesting. I looked at the newspaper reports from the time her mother died.
Yes, there was a lot about her in the newspapers. I remember.
And one of the things they discovered was that Lavinia Fenton had spent all her money. There was nothing left.
Except the house and the diamond necklace, of course.
Exactly. And so in her will, that was all she left to her daughter.
Well, don't expect me to feel sorry for her. That house is huge. And the diamond necklace must be worth a fortune.
I know. But there was also a condition in the will.
Oh, yes?
Her mother said that Yasmin couldn't sell them for at least 10 years.
What? Why on earth did she say that?
I suppose she didn't want her daughter to make the same mistakes that she did. You know, she didn't want her to just go out and spend it all.
I see.
But the problem is that Yasmin doesn't have any money.
What do you mean? Oh, surely she's got plenty of money.
No, she hasn't. Don't you remember? She told us that the only reason she opened her house to visitors was because she couldn't pay her bills.
Yes. Yes, she did. So she's come up with another way of raising the money.
Stealing her own necklace and getting the insurance.
Well, it's an interesting idea, Gweno, I'll give you that. Yes, it is an interesting idea.
So, what was the condition in the will?
The will says that Yasmin can't sell the house or the necklace for at least 10 years.
And according to P.C. Gweno, why did Lavinia Fenton include this condition? She says,
I suppose she didn't want her daughter to make the same mistakes that she did. You know, she didn't want her to just go out and spend it all.
P.C. Gweno then reminds the inspector of something that Yasmin said to them earlier.
She told us that the only reason she opened her house to visitors was because she couldn't pay her bills.
Inspector Tate says,
So, she's come up with another way of raising the money.
And P.C. Gweno finishes his sentence.
Stealing her own necklace and getting the insurance.
Inspector Tate says,
Well, it's an interesting idea, Gweno, I'll give you that. Yes, it is an interesting idea.
So could this be the solution to the mystery of the locked room? Has Yasmin Fenton stolen the necklace from herself? To find out, join us again next time when Tate and Gweno continue their investigations. Now here's a chance to hear a part of today's drama again.
Hal, can you take your headphones off?
What?
Can you take your headphones off?
What? Oh, it's you.
Hello, Hal.
Well. My old friend Lucy Gweno. Or is that PC Lucy Gweno these days?
I thought I'd find you here. So this is what you do with your life, is it?
But that's all for today. You've been listening to The Merton Mysteries, a British Council Learn English radio series. And remember, you can find more resources at the British Council Learn English website at learnenglish.britishcouncil.org. Until next time, from Amanda Carlton and me, David Evans.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.